Hey everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. I've had the iPhone 14 Pro Max for about a week now, and I have to say, I'm loving it. I didn't really expect to because the iPhones have been sort of the same since, they've come out, but I kind of like this one. So let's go ahead and test out some of the cameras, just see how they perform, because that's what I really love about this phone are the cameras. So let's go check them out and see how they perform. Here we go. All right, so I'm outside here and I'm using the new iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm shooting with just the regular lens, which is the wide lens, not the ultra wide, but just the wide lens. And I'm using the standard iPhone app because, well, iPhone doesn't give us a Pro app still, which is very, very unfortunate. But this is what you can expect from the image quality, the image stabilization, and the included microphone. So let's go ahead now, switch over and try the ultra wide camera and see how that performs in comparison. So now I'm filming with the ultra wide angle lens, and I'm still using the built-in microphones of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now this lens I think is great if you're vlogging because you can get all of your shot without really having to worry too much about composition, because if you're a little bit off, you can just go ahead and make the adjustment in post. But because the iPhone doesn't have a cover screen or a rear screen, this is the way that I would recommend most people vlogging so that you really can see your scene and you don't have to worry so much about composition. But this is the ultra wide angle lens of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now the new iPhone 14 Pros and Pro Max have a 2x zoom on here, and that is really a crop in on the sensor because the sensor is a 48 megapixel sensor, and so you have a 2x crop which crops in and makes it a 12x a 12 megapixel photo, or for video it just crops in on the sensor there. So right now what we're looking at is the 2x. I'm going to go ahead and punch into 3x there, and we can see that is 3x right there. These are both optical zooms. Now if you want to get in even closer, you can go digital. So let's go ahead and roll all the way in here, and this is going to get us all the way up to 9x right there. So you can get all the way up to 9x zoom with video. Now this next feature here, the one that I'm using now, is one of the few features that I was actually really excited about for this year's iPhone 14 Pro Max, and that is cinematic video now shoots in 4K. I shoot everything in 4K at least, and so for me to have to move down to 1080p to use the previous cinematic video mode just didn't work, and so I never used it. But now with 4K, this is very, very functional, and I like it. So you can actually use the cinematic mode at 24p or 30p in 4K with the brand new 14 Pro Max. Now here is another great thing about the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and that is you can shoot in cinematic mode in 4K with the front-facing camera. That's right. So if you're someone who vlogs a lot and you want to be able to actually see yourself on the screen, the front-facing camera is awesome for that. Now, the front-facing cameras are never going to be as good as the rear cameras, but you're still going to be able to have the convenience of making sure that you're properly framed up and composed, because you'll see yourself in the shot all the time. And now that you can get that nice background bokeh blur into effect because you have the cinematic mode, it makes vlogging on the iPhone much, much nicer. Now, if cinematic mode is not your thing, if you don't really care about the background blur and you just want to have a good, solid front-facing camera experience, you still can use the regular front-facing camera mode, and now it has autofocus, so you can make sure that it's always you that's in focus and not something else or someone else. And you also can shoot in 4K, which is also awesome. So there you have it. This right here is an example of the regular front-facing camera mode, and I have to say, it's doing a pretty fine job. iPhone always gets video really, really right, and they are still getting it really, really right with the 14 Pro Max. Okay, so we were able to look at the different video modes of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few photo samples to see what the different modes are and what they have to offer. We have a new 48 megapixel RAW mode on there. We also have the 12 megapixel mode, and we have some zoom options on there. So let's just run through. I'll take a couple of different photos in the different modes, and I'll put on the screen what different mode the photo was shot in. So let's take a look. Now in photo mode, you have half X, 1X, 2X, 3X, and those are all optical zooms. Now, if you want to get in closer, you can go into all the way from like 4 to 5, you can go up to 10X, you can even go all the way to 15X there, but you can see 15X, it's not looking all that great. It looks sort of like oil painting. So now there's one last mode that I want to show you before we get out of here, and that is slow motion. Now you can shoot slow motion at 120 frames or 240 frames at 1080p. And so let's go ahead and take a look and see what each of those look like. All right, everyone, well, there you have it. That is it. That is a look at the cameras of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm curious to know what you think about them. Leave me some comments down in the comment section and let me know what you think. If you have one of the 14 Pros or the 14s or one of the other iPhones, if you see there's a difference between these photos and maybe some that you've taken with your own camera. And yeah, I'm just kind of curious to know what you think. I have to be honest, I love the iPhones for their video. I think the video on the iPhones look fantastic. I really, really wish though they would give us a longer zoom. I want something that is like 10x optical, 15x, 20x, something. I really want them to be probably more in line where Samsung is heading in their direction as far as optical zooms. I want something more. I want to have some more reach. I want to be able to say, if I go out and I only have my iPhone, then I am not missing having my other cameras. Now, that's not to say I'm giving up my other cameras, but if for some reason I'm out and about and this is all I have, I want this to be enough. So there you go. All right, well, I'll leave links to the iPhone down below in the video description so that you can check it out. I'll also leave links to my Amazon page and my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere. And I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.